Hi guys, my name is Harmony and I'm super excited to be here. Welcome to my channel. So today I'll be sharing with you tips to make your CV stand out. So these are tips that have worked for me personally. Disclaimer, I'm not in HR, I'm not a recruiter, so just to put it out there. So the first tip that I will give you is to have a personal profile or a personal summary on your CV. So this is where you sell yourself. This is like your opening statement for your CV. So this is where you have to grab the employer's attention so that they can go through your whole CV. So this is where you back up the skills that you stated that you have in your CV with evidence. For example, if you say you have good negotiation skills, in your personal profile you have something like, through negotiation I've been able to secure the best prices with supplier. That means that you can save money for the company, so it's quite impressive. So if you're saying you're a hard worker, provide evidence to why you're saying you're a hard worker. It really helps, it really makes a difference, because once they read that personal profile and then it grabs their attention, they are willing to go through your whole CV. But if you have a personal profile where you just maybe list all the things that you have done, they might not even give your CV a chance. But that's just my point of view. As I say, these are tips that have worked for me, so they're based on my personal experiences. And then another thing that you must have when it comes to your education, list all your education from matric. If you have matric, you start with matric, and then if you have higher education, you also include like your higher education qualifications. Sorry. So if I have matric, I have a national diploma, I'll have both of them there. Another thing, guys, even if you haven't received your certificate due to fees, outstanding fees, but you have completed that particular that particular qualification, still include it there. And then also, if you're currently studying, include it. Just write current studies next to the education and include it. And then also, it's very important that you have the years in which you completed that particular qualification. And then another thing, make sure that you list your subjects. If it's matric, list all your matric subjects. There were not that many. If it's varsity, only focus on major, because we have so many modules in varsity, so only have the major modules included like under your education, and not like a lot, because if you include all of them, there'd be like one page, which is a lot. So just include the major modules. And then another thing, when it comes to your work experience, I always start with the current and then I finish with like my previous, based on which one I started with. For example, for my current employment, I'd write the year, the month and the year that I started, and then the end month and year. It really makes a difference, so they know how long you worked there for. So another thing is, list all your activities that you were doing in that particular in that particular job. You can't just have worked as administrator, receptionist, but then you don't include the activities that you did on a daily basis. It really makes a difference, because now they can see if your activities they match with the job specification. Another thing, when you apply, always make sure that you check the job specification, what they're looking for, and check your CV to see if you have those particular things, because sometimes the job specification may match with your CV, but then because you didn't include those things, some of the activities in your CV, you might miss an opportunity. For example, maybe they're saying they want someone who can operate a switchboard, but you can operate a switchboard, but you just wrote administration duties. What are your administration duties? Because administration duties from one company can differ from another company. So just make sure that you have everything listed out. If you were answering the telephone, filing, listed. Those are part of your activities. Another important thing, if maybe you're working in another department but you were helping out another department, Don't leave out those activities. They are also experience. You did them, even though they're not related to what you're doing. But then it also helps to include those things. And then when they ask you, but we see that you were in finance, but we see that you have some experience in sales, and then you need to explain and then say, no, I used to to help my colleagues when they needed help with certain activities so that they can meet deadline. Already shows that, yo, you're a team player. And then another thing that I include on my CV, I include achievements. I include achievements. It doesn't matter if I got it in matric, it doesn't matter if I got it in varsity, or during the time when I was employed. It is an achievement included. If you won employee of the year, if you won employee of the month, if you got maybe 100% attendance at work for whichever year, included, it might make a difference when you apply, when they go through your CV. They might be like, this person, yo, it looks like he's a hard worker or she's a hard worker. How come, all these achievements? They really help. Include them. And then another thing, when it comes to your hobbies or interests, I include them personally. I include them, and it has worked for me. For example, if I say I include like an interest like art, it shows maybe the employer that, she's a creative. It shows the employer that maybe she's she likes exploring new things, things like that. And then if maybe I put something like community work, it shows that I like helping people. It shows that I'm a team player. I like working with other people. When it comes to people, I won't be shy and things like that. So that's why I include my interests. I include my interests or hobbies for that particular reason. And then another thing, when it comes to your references, you can choose to have them or not have them. Like, you can choose to have them included, or you can choose to have under references available upon request. It makes much of a difference for me. Personally, I include my references. I don't mind including them. But then another thing, make sure that you are in communication with your references. You did inform the references that, no, I'm putting you on my CV as my reference. Like, get their permission first, so that they're not caught off guard when they get a call asking about you. And another thing, put people that you trust on your CV. Put people that will root for you as your references, because I've heard stories where someone was like, I have so and so as my reference. When they called them to ask did this particular person work for the company, the person was like, no, I've never heard of such a person, I've never heard of such a name. And then when let's say that person is my friend, and then I call them back personally, and then they're like, no, we miss you here, Greg. But when you sorry, but when you have them as a reference, and then they call them in private, then they give like a certain like they badmouth you, or they deny that they know you. So I have people that you trust on your CV. It makes a difference. It makes it a difference. Include the name, the name, the place where you work, and then the position of that person, so that when your potential employer calls, they can see, oh, this person is their manager, this person is their supervisor, this person is this person is this, so that when they call and then they ask for that particular person, they know the position or role that they play in that particular company. So, and then another thing is, when it comes to your skills, guys, do not be stingy with your skills. Include your skills as much as possible. I just made sure that I have 20 skills, at least 20 skills, because these are skills that I have acquired from varsity. I have acquired through like being employed. I have acquired by doing different things. Include all your skills. If you're a team player, right there, team player. If you are good at planning, time management and planning, if you are good at communicating, good communication skills, good written and oral communication, it makes much of a difference. Include as many skills as possible, and then also ensure that your skills, they match with your job specification. It's very important that when you apply, you check that job specification to see the requirements and to see if you can meet all of them, because it might help you. Maybe you left out something that but then it's listed there on the job specification, and you're like, oh yeah. But then I'm not saying copy that job specification and put it in your CV. I'm not saying that, but you can word it in a different way. it makes much of a difference. And then also another thing, I put more than one address on my CV. I put more than one address. I put 2 places. Maybe I have relatives in Limpopo and then I can put the address, and then I have relatives in Gauteng. I put the address. It makes a difference for me. And then another thing, if you have one address but again you are willing to relocate, just put a note under like your address to say willing to relocate, so that the employer can know that, you know what, if an opportunity avails itself, you're ready to pack and go. And then another thing, because I talked about relocation, make sure that the companies that you apply at, please research them. Please ensure that you call, check on Google if that company really exists, because I've seen a story recently where a lady says she went for an interview, and then when she got there, you know, she found out that they were actually human trafficking, and she managed to escape, but there were other ladies that were also there. So please be careful when you go to places that you don't know. Send people your location, research about the company before you go, the number, if it's really there, also the address. Check the address, because Google will also tell you that the particular place is at that address, and then check the numbers on Google to see if they match with the one that you received on email. Like, just check, make as much information, ask other people. Don't be scared to ask other people. Say, they'll be jealous of me, they'll discourage me. No, ask. It really helps. You can it can save your life. Okay, enough about that. And then when it comes also to my contact details, I make sure that I add two contact details, and then my email. So the reason I have two contact details is because if they can't get hold of me on my number, the number that I used to apply, if they can't get hold of me there, at least there's an alternative number that they can call. I've had an instance where I was called for an interview, and because you never know, your battery might die, your phone might get stolen. I was lucky enough because I had someone's number there as my alternative number, like a close family member, and then they gave me the message to say so and so company called and they want you for an interview on this particular day. I also called them back to confirm that really they do want me for the interview there, and which was great for me. Imagine if I didn't have any alternative number, I would have missed an opportunity. And then another thing, when it comes to your email, have an email that is valid. Have an email that you have like a password to. You can't have an email now that you don't have a password to. I mean, when they call you for an interview, where are you going to tell them to send the interview details to, the address and whatnot to? Obviously have those details. Have like your password, your email, write it somewhere so that you don't forget. And then also your email, make sure it's professional. Don't have too sexy at what.com. No, it's not professional. At least have like your name, a number, it's fine. And then at what.com, it's fine. Even when the employer like looks at it, they won't laugh first. Say, wow, who is this? Such an email. They won't they will take you serious, like, because your email is also professional. And then another tip that I have is, guys, stop with this one page where you have a one page in bold and then it's written curriculum vitae of Jabulani. No, stop with that. That is old, man. Like, nowadays people don't have time to look at your CV and say, oh, he can decorate, oh, she can decorate. No, just make sure that your CV, is that the cover page is not necessary. Also, when you go to the internet cafe, make sure that the person makes an updated CV for you. Tell them, please don't include a big cover page and whatnot, because that's not what employers look for. They don't want to start with the cover page and then page through your CV. Just make sure that your first page, where you have your personal profile, before your personal profile you have your name and your surname in bold letters. And then also when you save your CV, make sure that you save it. You don't need to save it as CV. Just imagine you're applying, and then how many CVs does the recruiter receive that are written CV? At least meet them halfway. Make sure that you name it with your name and surname, and then you save it on your phone, your laptop, and then just know when you apply, you just click on it, you know it's your CV. And then another thing is to have page numbers. So you have your header right on Word, and then you have your footer. Just make sure on your footer you have your name and your surname, and then you write page numbers. Like if it's page 1, just write page 1 of 3. You know, if it's 3 pages, your CV has 3 pages, page 1 of 3, and then the second one will be page 2 of 3, and then the other one will be 3 of 3. This you must have, because you never know. Sometimes the person might print out pages of your CV, but because you never know where a person works. Maybe they share a printer and then the other one takes to page 3. But at least if it's 1 of 2, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, they can see, oh, there's something missing, and then they can go back to your CV and check, oh, I left out a page 3. You know, it really helps. Those little things, they might seem small, but they really help. And then another thing that is really important is what else did I leave out? Because I don't really want to leave out information, so that you can get as much information as possible. Okay, I think that is it. And then if I did forget anything and I make another video, I'll make sure to include those things that I forgot. And also, I think that's it for me. Just comment in the comment section if you have any additional tips. You know, this is a platform where we help each other to grow, help each other to get those jobs, our dream jobs and whatnot. So please comment if you have any additional tips. Also, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you are notified every time I post. Thank you so much. Bye.